Welcome to Job Tips, the career development channel. In this video, I'm going to go over the question, where do you see yourself in 5 years? You don't want to miss it. That's coming up. So the question comes up, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Well, among the most common answers is, well, I'd like to have your job. And that's the worst answer that you can give, at least from my perspective. And here's why I say that. You don't want to give the interviewer, let's say it's a hiring manager who might be the person that you're going to work for, a sense that you're after his or her job. If you're being interviewed by a recruiter, of course you won't say that. But you may have the opportunity to talk to the hiring manager. In fact, you probably will at some point. That question will come up. Don't make the interviewer feel insecure about hiring you, because quite likely, if that is the feeling the person gets, they won't choose you, because they may feel that their job may be at risk, most especially if your work history has been at that level before. So maybe you're interviewing for a job and the person who's hiring you is at a level that you've worked at in the past. So maybe that's a regional director, maybe it's a vice president, and you had that kind of role before. That person sees that on the resume and knows that, frankly, you would be a great fit for his or her job. The last thing you want that person to feel is that you're after his job. So here's how I would answer this. And of course, it depends on the type of job you're going into. But let's just say that it's a job that has upward mobility potential. Okay? So let's initially take that perspective. An answer may be something like, in the next 5 years, I plan to dive deeply into the role, become the very best I possibly can be at it, and exceed expectations as much as I possibly can, to the extent that opportunities for advancement that come would be offered to me. That's a nice way to put that, okay? If it is something where you are going into a job that you plan to be in for a very, very long time, and maybe it's a job that you don't want to move out of into, say, management, for example. Maybe it's not a management role that you're going into, and the next move up would be management. Not everyone is suited to be a manager or to be a director, right? In those kinds of roles. So maybe you would say something like, this job that I'm interviewing for is something that I have a great passion for, and I'm really, really good at it. I've done it before. I excel with it. I'm most fulfilled with it. It makes me happy being in that kind of job. And in 5 years from now, if I'm super happy with what I'm doing and I'm performing well and I'm exceeding expectations, which frankly is what I want to be able to do for you, then I'm not so sure that I see myself moving beyond that position down the road, unless the company feels that perhaps they need me in a different role where they think I would provide even more value. But if I'm really content and performing at a high level in this role, I may be content just to stay in that role for a while. So 5 years down the road, I may be in the same job, loving it, performing well, and meeting and exceeding all expectations. So we'll see. That's an okay answer. That is an okay answer. Not every company is looking to bring someone into a job and expecting that they will promote up or move into other roles. Some companies will, yes. And based on the research that you will do on the company prior to the interview, you should probably get a sense of, might that be a mindset of the organization or the hiring people that they want to have folks who can kind of move along, right? And if that's the case, if you get that feeling about that job, then maybe you wouldn't say, well, I hope to stay in this job for 20 years and not move on after 5 years. In which case, the original answer would be more appropriate, right? Where you want to be able to perform at levels of expectations, beyond expectations rather, to where, growth opportunities come and they're offered to you because of your performance here. See? So, pretty basic question, but don't say, I want your job. Not a good answer, and it might really hurt you in the interview, okay? Leave me some comments down below in this video, as to the times that maybe you were asked that question and maybe the response that you gave was like, you could tell that it damaged you in the interview. Or maybe you had an even better response than the idea that I gave you. I don't mind sharing that with other people. It's not all about just me. You know, folks that watch these videos and comment, those comments can help other viewers to say, hey, there are other perspectives out there. Okay? In the meanwhile, please subscribe to the channel, share, like, all those good things, and hit that notification bell to not miss any new videos that come out. In the meantime, for job tips, I hope you get that job, the kind of job or career that you want to have.